Hello, my name is Miss Robin DeBreyer. I'm just going to go through my special education get to know you PowerPoint that I've done just to serve as an introduction to the parents that I'll be working with and possibly to anybody that I might be working with here at Springs as part of the homeschool team this year. So my name is Miss Robin DeBreyer. I am a Master's of Education in Special Education. I am a homeschool special education teacher and case manager with Springs Charter Schools. My introduction, my professional background, 5 years experience in education, 2.5 years experience full-time in special education, 2.5 years experience substitute teaching with various different groups. I've done substitute teaching with gen ed, special education, and alternative education. However, my specialty is special education. This is my second year with Springs Charter Schools. I started last year in 2024. My first year with Springs was at Palm Academy in Indio, and you'll actually see a picture of that coming up. And this is my first year in Springs Homeschool, so I've not worked with Springs Homeschool in the past, though I have done online education before. When I started with my original school district the first 6 months during the pandemic, I served as a virtual educator, found out I loved it, and I've been really wanting to go back ever since. So this is my first year of Springs Homeschool working as a remote educator, but I do not expect it to be my last. I completed my Master of Education in Special Education in December of 2024, and I'll be clearing my mild moderate education specialist credential with Springs this year. Here's a quick picture of my alma mater, California Baptist University. Went there twice, once for my undergrad degree in theater and film studies, and went back again for the credential and Master's of Education. And here are just some pictures of me at the old school site. That's what I look like. I'm very happy to be with Springs, very happy to be with the homeschool program, and I'm very happy to be back to school. Looking forward to seeing what I can do. A little further icebreaker. I've been a local Coachella Valley since 2022. I'm a longtime Dodgers fan since childhood. Go Ohtani. Reptile enthusiast. I've owned 2 separate exotic reptiles for several years. Unfortunately, don't have them anymore. I'm looking to possibly get more. Favorite movie on Netflix is Leo. It's a movie about a reptile class pet that teaches the class important lessons. It's a very sweet movie. I highly recommend it. Favorite movie that isn't Leo, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse. All those, both those, these wonderful animation. Absolutely love it. There is just a quick picture of Coachella Valley, where I am from. Quick picture of proof that I'm a Dodgers fan. I got my Kershaw jersey right there. A couple of pics of my old reptiles. Really miss those guys. And just a couple bits from the movies. I really can't recommend those enough. Very, very good. Alright, moving on. Don't want to make this video be too long. So, a quick overview of the special education services, otherwise known as intervention. Services, also referred to as intervention, are going to be provided by the following. Springs Homeschool SPED teacher, Robin DeBreyer, that would be me. Services are provided primarily in a push-in method, depending on student needs. So in this case, students will push in to a curated Zoom room with their intervention materials. I'm already setting up those Zoom rooms for each individual student, and I'm hoping to have those ready to go by the 1st of September. Here's a quick illustration just giving you an idea of the difference between push-in and pull-out services. Just in case you might not have been aware, if you want to stop the video and just read those for a second, feel free. Things that are going to be new for 2025. So this is going off of where I was last year, but I've kind of adapted this for the online model that we'll be working with. So student reading will be worked on in intervention groups via Reader's Theater as a tool as opposed to traditional reading passages. Students with higher needs will also use the Wilson Reading System for larger needs once the case manager, me, has access to that and can deploy the system. Reader's Theater, just as a heads up, is a strategy for reinforcing oral reading fluency, aka how they sound. And that's a tool that I've wanted to bring in since last year but have not had the opportunity to. If students aren't receptive to those, I can also pull other reading materials as well, but I will be starting with the Reader's Theater. Math intervention will be a combination of traditional whiteboard drills with accommodations, so we'll just practice problems, go over them, we'll break them down, and I'll try to explain them as easy, but with as much detail as possible for your students. That way they know what they are learning. So we'll do traditional whiteboard drills with accommodations such as manipulatives. I did bring in math board games last year. That might be a little bit different with the online model that we're using, but I will try other ways of integrating math into the equation as needed. Larger needs we worked on using corrective math or early numeracy interventions. That is an intervention system for students that are a couple grade levels behind. But if you're just like one grade level behind, I'm probably not going to use this, but if you're like 2 or 3, possibly. Writing interventions will be in the form of interesting prompts. I know students sometimes struggle to figure out what to read, or not what to read, what to write about, and honestly my go-to for that is, let's write about something that you like. So that's what we'll do. If their writing needs are sufficient enough, we will also use Step Up to Writing for students with higher level writing needs. If your student does happen to have higher level needs across the board for all of those subjects, then what we'll probably be doing is using those things like the Wilson, corrective math, and Step Up to Writing for your student as the primary focus. If you have any questions, just feel free to send an email or send a text message. And here are a couple examples of the Reader's Theater scripts. I'll leave those up on the screen for you to take a look at. Feel free to pause if you need to take a look at them, and I'm going to keep moving forward now. Alright, one thing that I also want to do, I want to give some important SPED terminology for parents. Unfortunately, not all parents are knowledgeable about their rights under the law when it comes to their students' education. I also thoroughly want students to be aware of the rights that they have. Many students are not aware of the fact that they have IEPs, that they might have these extra services, and when they become older, when they become high school students, it's really important for them to know, because once they hit the age of majority, which I believe is 16, education rights will transfer over to your student. So having these terms known early is important, because students have a right to the education that they're receiving. To get started, first term I want to go over is just IDEA, which stands for Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Students with disabilities are owed, by law, a free and appropriate public education. 2, I want to go over the term free and appropriate public education. So a free and appropriate public education is an education that is tailored to the needs of your student, which is a right, and is to be at no cost under IDEA law. Third term I'd like to go over is Individualized Education Program, or IEP. It's a personalized plan for students with disabilities, with changes made as your student grows. This covers qualifying disability or disabilities of record, as well as strengths, weaknesses, diagnostic data, special factors, goals and objectives, aids and services, etc., etc. IEPs can be pretty broad and pretty wide, depending on the individual student. So just keep that in mind. Last one I just want to put down is least restrictive environment, or LRE. This ensures that under IDEA law, students with disabilities are educated alongside their peers whenever possible and whenever appropriate. Finally, I do have this little illustration that kind of covers all of those different terms. No, I did not illustrate that, but I have a person who put this together for a separate class of theirs, and it was just too perfect for me to not bring in. So if you want more about those terms in a little more detail, the illustration here will go over those as well. And if you want, I can answer some questions about different terminology as well. I'll keep this up on the screen if you want to take a look at it, and I'll move on from there. All right, almost done here. So how can you help in the SPED process? Two things. One, attempt to maintain high levels of attendance throughout the school year. I do understand that, yeah, there might be times, there might be reasons why a student might not be able to show up for intervention, show up for class, or just show up for school on any particular day. I understand. Life happens. The one thing I do want to state, and this is just so that way everybody is aware, longitudinal studies, so those are studies done over a long period of time, so they are very accurate. Longitudinal studies do show that even a few absences can lead to more frequent absenteeism and may negatively impact academic and social development. So whenever possible, I do understand that you might need to, you might need to take your child somewhere. It might be an appointment, might be something family related, might be something completely else. Whenever possible, try to have them in class, in interventions, at school, as frequently as possible. Second thing, and this is one where I do know that sometimes this can be difficult, try to encourage your students to participate in intervention activities. I understand that, students might be, unwilling to work on a particular subject for a variety of reasons. They might still be getting used to me. Maybe that might be a reason why some students might not be participating in interventions. There might be a variety of reasons why a student would not participate. I get it. Students can refuse IEP interventions out of embarrassment or disinterest or a variety of other reasons. Since these are customizable, the IEP documents, students are encouraged to share their interests with the SPED teacher, and ACEs, that would be aides in this case, like special education aides. I don't believe I'm going to have any this year since I'm working remote. However, your students should speak up to me or their gen ed teacher, and the information that we get can help us support their needs better and customize them better. So those are the two things that we need from parents just in the SPED process. Try to maintain attendance, try to maintain participation. You do those two things and you're going to do great. And here's a couple of resources, including the absenteeism study, as well as access to one of my bigger resources for parents, which is understood.org. It's a very good website for students, for parents of students with disabilities. So I highly recommend that website. And again, if you have any further questions, just feel free to ask. My email and my phone is always open, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can whenever you send off a question or need something answered. Once again, this is Robin DeBreyer. Thank you. Have a great day.